Welcome back to another video. It's been a while, I know. But yeah, I'm back. And again, videos will be on and off. It's whenever I do them. But I'm hoping to at least get these kinds of videos out every month. The reason I didn't do one for March was because absolutely nothing worthwhile released in March apart from one or two, maybe 3 albums. April, on the other hand, so this month, a lot has released, a lot of really good stuff. So I wanted to just cover both months in the same video because I thought I may as well, considering March's own video would be like 5 minutes long, so I didn't really think there was a point. So I hope you enjoy this video, and again, if there's anything here that catches your eye, then by all means, go listen to it, please. That's the point of this video. And if you enjoy the video, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, because it helps, it motivates me to continue doing stuff. If any of these albums, if you want to know more about my opinion on these albums, there will be reviews that I've written anyway, because not all of these albums I've reviewed, again, will be linked below. And you can also look at my RYM or AOT. RYM I'm more active on because on RYM I will more actively just casually rate things. So if you want to follow that more so, you can do that. And lastly, there isn't a lastly actually, I didn't think I was going with that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that's it. I've been a fan of Duster for only a short while, but during that time I've grown to absolutely adore their material. Stratosphere is a masterpiece in my eyes and will probably remain that way, at least for a very long time. But I don't consider it Duster's best release anymore. On April 1st, Duster released a surprise album. It came out of nowhere and it was exhilarating to say the least. No one knew it was coming. There were a couple of teasers scattered about, but no one could have predicted a whole album, especially on April 1st of all days. I sat down and listened to it quickly and eagerly, and from the opening song I was already in love. Front to back, this thing is masterful and contains my favourite aspect of Duster. While songs like Gold Dust and Stars Will Fall are great, amazing to be honest, I absolutely adore Duster's writing style and their vocals, especially on this record. It feels dissonant and foggy, it feels nostalgic. Together features immense nostalgia for times I have never experienced, and each song in here invokes some new memory I've never had. Quick side tangent that I want to mention. I did write a review for this album, and it'll be linked in the description. That review stirred a lot of talk in the RYM comment box, where people got really angry at the review. And then people also were defending my review and saying that, Jesus Christ, calm down, it's just a review and it's nice, just, it's not gonna kill your family, please. And that's one of the reasons I don't like RYM, because it's just a shithole. But, if you want to read, if I've sold the review to you now, please go and read it, please like it. But either way, Duster's most recent release, Together, is phenomenal, and I cannot give it enough praise. If you couldn't already tell, I adore this album, and honestly, I would give it a perfect 10 out of 10 score. If you please listen to this album. Father John Misty is quite a polarizing figure in music due to his lyrical and themes. That doesn't make sense. Why did I write that in the script? Due to his lyrical themes and his overall quite stuck-up nature. It is of course all an act, and Josh Tillman isn't actually like that in real life, for the most part. A lot of people do say he's a bit of a dick, but I've heard good and bad things. I've listened to a couple of his projects, mainly Honey Bear and Pure Comedy. I liked Honey Bear and absolutely adored Pure Comedy and still return to it often to this day. I was excited for this new release. It was his first in nearly 4 years. I do believe it was worth the wait, at least somewhat. There are stellar tracks on here such as the opener, Chloë, and the lead single, Funny Girl, but there are also some much weaker cuts. It's a bit of a rocky road and at points drags, but if you enjoy Misty's stuff already, then there's no harm in trying this out too. I will say it's a change from his other stuff, as he does experiment, as Pure Comedy was much different to Honey Bear, and his previous record, God's Favorite Customer, was quite different to Pure Comedy. Chloë in the 20th Century is... Chloë in the next 20th Century, sorry, is, again, quite different to God's Favorite Customer, but more similar to Pure Comedy, I would say. But there are still differences. So, again, go into it with that in mind, but I liked it, for the most part, and I'd recommend it, I guess, but it's definitely not his best, by far. While I do like some of these songs, I do not consider it, by any means, Father John Misty's best album, so I will probably, it sits nicely at a 7 out of 10, so it's positive. Wet Leg are a band I haven't really been keeping my eye on, but I've seen around plenty. Are they an industry plant, or a genuine band? I don't know, but I like the music, for the most part, so I don't really care. This is a catchy and fun time, with songs that don't really mean much, but I can still sing along to. Are they rich and well? Some of the time, yeah. There are definitely standouts, like Angelica and Your Mum, which to me really showcases the type of sound and feel this group are going for. Is this album worth a listen? I'd say so. It isn't long, and you might get some enjoyment out of some of the songs here. It's fun. Don't be too critical. Just have fun. Wet Leg. I would give this a 7, 6.5. As I already said, there are some great moments here, but for the most part, I feel like there are a bit too many missed opportunities for me to give it a whole 7 at least. So 6.5. I think that's still that's good. And I see potential. So I love space rock. I love a lot of genres, but space rock is one of those genres I put very high. It just makes me feel so cool. It makes me feel floaty, which is the point, I suppose. Spiritualized are one of the major space rock groups, and having what a lot of people consider to be the best space rock album under their belt. I'm obviously referring to Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. Getting a new album from the group is always exciting. So, how is their newest release? I really, really like it. While it isn't as in-depth or as truly groundbreaking as Ladies and Gentlemen, I would still say it has the same amount of oomph, at least at points. The opening track, Always Together With You, builds and builds with this continuing theme of love. It is a love song through and through, and it's beautifully crafted. The two final songs too are phenomenal and major highlights. I'm Coming Home Again is an amazing closer and up there with one of the best I've heard this year. And yes, that does count Basketball Shoes. Surprisingly, this was a very high point in the month, as I've already stated, and I can very comfortably give this a 9, honestly. It's good, I like it. I listened to it. King Gizzard's 20th album. Holy shit, is that a lot, especially for such a short amount of time. What has it been, 10 years? 11? I'm not sure when their debut released, but either way, King Gizzard's prolificity is no secret or thing to be understated. They pump out music that there is no tomorrow. They just enjoy doing it. Omnium Gathering is definitely one of their biggest projects though. It reaches incredible peaks and experiments with a lot of different ideas. There's fucking rapping on this album and it sounds good. They're all white. How? The album opens with one of the best songs I've ever heard, period. The Dripping Tap, an 18-minute epic that just goes on and on and on and does not relent in any way, shape or form. For an 18-minute song, it is insanely catchy, and while it is by far the longest song on the album, There are still 15 other songs on here, all varying in length, from 2 minutes to 7. This is a behemoth of an album, and it somehow works really well. It's surprising, honestly, but King Gizzard are known for throwing everything at the wall and doing whatever they want, and it somehow works most of the time. There are a few misses in their discography, but for the most part, Jesus Christ, they are really good at making music. This one's a bit trickier to rate, only because of how big and long it is, but I still feel that it can very comfortably sit at an 8, a very solid 8, due to just experimentation, how fun it all is, and you know, it's just Giz being Giz. It's just, what else? What more do you want? I was really excited for this album after I heard the single I Love You. It was definitely one of their best songs and encapsulated everything I love about their sound. I really liked A Hero's Death, but felt there could be more done with it, and I feel that Skinty Fia is what was missing. At least for the most part. I still don't consider this a perfect album by any means. It still features weaker moments, such as How Cold Love Is, which features slow repetitivity, but songs like the opener... Oh fuck, I really hope I pronounced this right. In aggregate... Fuck, I can't pronounce that correctly. Give me like 1 second, I need to fucking get this correct.
그죠.
Gajor. In aggregate, Gajor. In aggregate, Gajor. I think that's correct. Okay, good. In aggregate, Gajor and I Love You make up for those weaker moments. There are some absolutely stellar peaks on this album, and I'm incredibly certain that Fontaines are capable of making something truly remarkable in the future, especially with this track record. I am really praying that they just keep going up and up and up, and maybe this next album, whenever that comes out, will be, again, amazing. I am really keeping an eye on this band. Sorry, I just fucking burped like 5 times. I was really excited for this album after I heard the single I Love You. It was definitely one of their best songs, and encapsulated everything I love about their sound. I really liked A Hero's Death, but felt there could be more done with it, and I feel that Skinty Fia is what was missing. At least for the most part. I still don't consider this a perfect album by any means. It still features weaker moments, such as How Cold Love Is, which features slow repetitivity, but songs like the opener... Oh fuck, I really hope I pronounced this right. In aggregate... Fuck, I can't pronounce that correctly. Give me like 1 second, I need to fucking get this correct. In aggregate, Gajor and I Love You make up for those weaker moments. There are some absolutely stellar peaks on this album, and I'm incredibly certain that Fontaines are capable of making something truly remarkable in the future, especially with this track record. I am really praying that they just keep going up and up and up, and maybe this next album, whenever that comes out, will be, again, amazing. I am really keeping an eye on this band. Sorry, I just fucking burped like 5 times. When I first listened to this, I think I gave it an 8, which I still somewhat stand by, but if anything, I'd probably bump it to at least an 8.5. This is a really solid release, and I can't wait to hear more from the band. Honeyglaze are an incredibly new band, and one I implore everyone to keep an eye on. I listened to their debut single Burglar and was instantly hooked. An incredibly dreamy and floaty indie rock track that makes me feel things not many other songs do. The only other song I can think of, off the top of my head at least, is Orange Peeler by Horse Jumper of Love, which I also implore you to listen to if you haven't already. Burglar is definitely the major highlight of the album, but a lot of these songs are nice and catchy. Songs like Shadows, Female Lead, I'm Not Your Cushion are all fun and sweet little songs. Nothing complex, a similar vibe to something like Snail Mail. The only thing this album really leaves me wanting is more songs like Burglar and the closer Childish Things. I wanted this band go in a more slowcore direction, and there are some other little moments on the album like some Souvenir and the opener that feature this, but for the most part this is generally just a nice little indie rock album with some major highlights. It's a nice album to bookend the month. A couple other notes on the album that I didn't write down, mainly expanding, is that it's tracks especially like the opener that make me really want more of that kind of sound, because it feels a bit contrasting with songs like Shadows and Female Lead that are nice songs, I like them, but I feel like it doesn't really work on the same album as nice as well as I'd like it to, because it leaves me wanting more of the opener, of Burglar, of Childish Things, more of Shadows and Female Lead, but I still do enjoy those songs as well. Band that I will be keeping an eye on, for sure, even though this album is by no means the album of the year, or probably their best work anyway, it can still sit comfortably at a 7 because of the highlights, and also just even the maybe, I guess, weaker moments are still fun. It's a fun album, I like it, but I just wish more was done, I suppose. And with that, we come to the end of this little in-month review, or I suppose 2-month in review, because I technically covered March as well, but nothing on this list actually released in March, so it's just April, but I'm still going to say it's March as well because I still looked, but there was nothing interesting, or at least anything that caught my eye. I could be missing something though. If I have, you can tell me in the comments, you can scream at me, but you can't get angry at me for because I did, it's still March, I still looked, but if I forgot something you can tell me, because I'm more than happy to listen to something, to new stuff. Anyway, I plan to cover May in detail as we already know a lot about the albums and artists who are releasing in May next month, and those include Kendrick, who hasn't released in what, 5 years? I'm probably 4 years at least, a while, and Harry Styles, who released in 2019, I think, or maybe 2020, I can't remember, but either way, still, you know, cool. It's Harry Styles, he's nice, I like his debut a lot more than The Fine Line, but anyway, but for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can at least check out one of these albums if you haven't already. That's my main goal for all of these videos. Oh, and also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and donate to my Ko-fi if you wish to. It'll be in the description, as more than likely this video will be copyright stricken. I have had to repeat that so many times, because I keep saying strucken instead of stricken. I just wanted to put that in here. Anyway, I make these videos for fun, which is why I don't mind as much about copyright, but you can always support me on Ko-fi if you enjoy these videos. But with that, thank you for watching. Thank you specifically, you good patron, yeah, whatever. Thank you, and see you next month for another installment, another long-awaited installment of the shit I listened to in the previous month, and I now tell you to go and listen to it. Goodbye.